you know, I was indisposed when they called on the phone and stuff. So I decided that, you know, a diary was probably not a great idea.
But letters to your dad.
Letters to my dad, and then I was the editor of the high school newspaper.
What high school was that?
Actually, I went to high school in a place called Vacaville.
Okay.
My grandparents and my stepdad were in the newspaper business, and we actually moved from Southern California to Vacaville, and he owned a newspaper in Fairfield. You know where Fairfield is?
Yes.
And he and my grandfather, and then they moved to Folsom, and he owned the Folsom Telegraph, which is still.
We have to call them.
Which, well, you know, when I'm going to be doing this tour, that's one of the things that, you know, we have 4 cities in California that we're going to work on, and you will obviously be working on that. The Sacramento area was one that was really, you know, kind of up in the air when I was setting the dates for the interviews and stuff. And as you know, I'm working with a company in New York that basically don't care what city you do. They let you pick what you think is your market. And so they said LA and San Francisco and Orange County. And they said, anybody else that you think that you'd, you know, be good in? And I said, well, my mom and half of my family has been in Sacramento for a long, long time, and, you know, Folsom and all of that stuff. So anyway, you know, it was kind of a jump from Southern California to Northern California,
but within the books that people will read, you bring Hollywood, so that's why it was.
Well,
relevant.
that's true.
That's a very big strain and a good part of the story.
Well, my dad was obviously always in L.A. and he was always in films. I think he's made 200 or 300 films in his life. He was in films from the time he was 2 and 3 years old. And actually, his mother was one of the first stage mothers of the movie business, because she had no idea how to earn a living other than having children and putting them to work. So that's what she did. She had, you know, these stair steps of kids. She had 7 kids.
Wow.
And, you know, no money. She came from a kind of a wealthy family in the South, in Louisiana, and then she married my grandfather, and right as soon as they got married, the stock market crashed, and they were penniless. And she, you know, knew how to do.
Kids.
She knew how to do nothing except make a family.
Right.
So.